Today, I would like to talk about my training methods. I had a request from a friend. He wants me to go in detail about how I train my pigeons. So what I want to do is I want to explain how I train them. My methods are orthodox, but I do train for my work schedule. I work from 6 to 3:30, 4 o'clock, so I basically train for that and the weekends. But what I do is when I train my pigeons, I bring out my squabs at 22 days, 21 days. I place them on one of these kit boxes. This is the demo. These birds are trained. These birds are settled. So what I do is I bring out my squeakers. I put them right here the first day. I grab my chair, which is over there, and I basically do is when I bring that chair over here, I watch my squeakers for like at least 2 hours. I babysit them. Then once I get my squeakers, I put them inside this kit box here, and they have free in and out. But what I do is I leave them in there for one day. The next day I come out in the morning and I put them back out here on a special wire cage that I put on top of there. So when I get home from work, I put them inside there. I let them get accumulated with their surroundings, with their feed and water. Also too, is when I break them from the nest, I take them off the 22% pellets, pigeon pellets, and I put them on a half wheat, half pigeon pellets ratio. I want them to get accustomed to eating red wheat. So once I do that, for a whole week I do this. The second week, that's when I really start training. I put up a little aggressive more. I put the table right here. I let them come in and out. I train them in and out. I play ping pong with them. From A to B, A to B. I do that for a whole week. On the third week, that's the critical week. The third week is, again, I let them come in and out, in and out. But on the second to the last 2 days or 3 days of the third week, I move this table all the way back over there. I sit on that chair, and I do practice a Somalia diet. It's basically a starvation. I run a boot camp here. I don't run a Beverly Hills Hilton here. I run a very strict boot camp. It's brutal, but only the best I keep. And I have to be very, very careful because there's some birds that you're gonna need a little help, but on the way I do that. But as a whole, I don't try to baby them at all. I try to let them know that this is how you train. So what I do is 3 days before I have them fly over to my table over here where I set up, I shake that feed can and they don't fly over here or at least fly to my kit box, up to my loft and down to the table. I call them all back. I call them all back and they fly inside my kit box. They'll fly back inside and eat in there because they're comfortable eating inside here. But I only give them a little bit of feed. The next day I come out, I try it again. By then I got their attention. It just takes 1 or 2 birds to follow the game plan, and once 1 or 2 land over here, the rest will start flying over here. I give them I do that at least for the last 3 days. And before they get too big, I make sure that when I fly in a kit of pigeons, I hold back at least 5 of them. No matter what kit I'm flying, I hold back at least 5 of them. Don't give them no food or water. So when these birds come out, if they get spooked or I flag them up, if they start ranging, I have their feed and water good enough where I'm going to keep them close to home. But just in case they start ranging a little bit or they get a little bit too far out, I'll let the 5 out. And these 5 haven't ate or haven't had no water, so they'll basically fly a little bit and they'll land. And once they land, they're going to see me, they're going to want to land and eat. And after 1 or 2 hours of some birds not coming back or they're flying around, by the end of the day, they're all back. And what I say is this, is that in going on 4 years now, I haven't lost 1 kit of pigeons. I might lose a couple of them, but I have not lost a kit in 4 years. And that's due because of training. You have to be really strict with the training because we're basically 1 feed can or 1 teaspoon away from flying them off. But you got to get them early. And that's what I do. I try to get them early. But once I have them on this Somalian diet, where I have them A, B from this box to this box and have them trained from that kit box to where they can fly to that table where the food's at, then I know I got them. I know I have a good command on them. The truth of the matter, I might lose 1 or 2 because either they're too light or maybe they didn't get enough food. I try to help each bird, but I'd rather sacrifice 1 or 2 than sacrifice 20. And my numbers for the past 4 years have been higher. I've had more birds that stood here because of my training methods. But you might lose 1 or 2, but hey, it is what it is. I'd rather, again, lose 1 or 2 than lose 20. I have another request I want to talk about. I have some kit birds that I pulled out of my kit boxes that are basically what their body types are and what I believe in body types for my family. What my comments are is basically my opinion of how I cultivate this family and what I see. It's not as a whole because rollers come in all sizes and shapes. And but this particular family is pretty unique in the sense that if I spend 10 years with these birds, and it takes at least 5 years just to know the bloodlines you're going through. But after 7 years, I really concentrated what I was really happy with. And so this is the 10th year in. So let me show you what I've had. Again, the comments I want to say is basically just my observation on raising these Birmingham rollers, and by no way am I saying that these birds are the best. They're just something I'm happy with, and it's just something I applied all these years of trying to focus on what's working and what's not working. But all said and done, let me show you some pigeons now. These are all kit pigeons I brought out to show you guys. Here's a dun right here. Let me bring this out. What I want to do is I want to show the second video I made. You couldn't see that oily gene too good, but let me show you now. I guess they're going through the moat. If you can see that, oil there, it looks like it's dirt, but it's not. See that? That's like an oil gene. I don't know. It's something about the glands that they start spreading some oil out, but it's something I've been observing in. And I'm very observant with my pigeons, and their performance is good. This is probably a 5-footer, real zippy, real nice. And all these birds are related. So let me show you one of the light birds that has the same thing. It's a blue bar white flight. It's a young cockbird. He's like 6 months. This is another 1 second to 2 second, 5 to a 10-footer, but real nice and zippy. You see some of these oils on them right in here. Also, these right here are all related. These two are nestmates. They're 6 to 7 months. They're 7 months old. These are both cockbirds. This tea checker, you can see it's on the moat. You can see that. You can see the oil on the outside. You see that? You can see some of that oil on that. If you can see that, see the oil on there? Let me show them the other side. These birds on the bad mold, there it is. Look at that. See what I mean? Look at that right here. And this guy is at least a good 2 second, probably a 10-footer, 5-footer, but real zippy, real nice. The revolutions on these pigeons right here I'm showing you are probably from around 6 foot down, but they're fast. They're like, the RPMs are really nice on there, so I know these are going to be good pigeons. Again, let me show the eyes here on these birds. Look at that eyes here on there. Look at that. It's going on 7 months. And believe it or not, his brother is a better performer. And he has no oil glands on him. So again, it tells you I'm learning. As I breed these birds, I'm learning myself. And this one has no oil glands on him at all. Nothing on him, but he's a good performer. He's probably, like I said, another 5-footer, 8-footer, but it's a real nice, fast, clean spin in and out. Another thing I'd like to bring to attention about my pigeons, I believe that my birds I don't go by the kill. I never judge a pigeon by the kill for its performance. I judge my pigeons on their back muscles. These birds are a little bit long, but they're not long birds, but they have a long back. And if you notice, their necks are a little bit longer than I say my other family. They're basically related. My other family has a shorter body, a shorter beak, is because that 58802 Recessive Red Hen I got from South Australia was a small pigeon with a short beak. these birds right here, if you notice right here, all have the long back, and all of these I accumulate because of this special muscle they have back here that somehow when they come out of that roll, it's just as impressive when they come out of the spin. They stop on a dime violently and they shoot back up like a yo-yo. And I've seen it numerous times where they shake their tail like they've done it before. But it's very impressive when you have a Birmingham roller that could spin and then snap out of the spin and shoot back up like that. That to me is really special when a Birmingham roller could stop on a dime and just shake it, go straight back up. Or sometimes they stop on a dime, they take a little loop and they go back. That's okay. They're learning how to control themselves. And this family does sometimes roll blood in their eye. They say that's a fault. Well, I could live with that because I'd rather have a bird that's rolling fast with a blood in the eye than have a Birmingham roller roll slow and basically there's nothing there. So I'd rather take the less of the two evils. But I do be very observant with this family. Also too, here's this little dun bronze head. I don't mate my pigeons. She's a little type of bronze hen. She's a good 20-footer. But I made my pigeons big to small. I never put small pigeons together. And if you notice, she has a smaller beak. That is from her great-grandmother, the recessive red hen. I particularly don't like that short beak, but I live with it because they're great rollers. But I breed my Birmingham rollers by a longer beak pigeon with the shorter ones. I never put two small pigeons together. I just like it that way. I'd rather put my birds that have that long back muscle to one of these shorter rollers. But like I said again, I have no problem with it, but it is something I personally like to do. I like to cross my birds. I don't put bull eyes with pearl eyes. I don't put orange eyes with orange eyes. I like to basically keep them mixed. I like to put my orange eyes with my pearl eyes and just keep it spread out there. You know, I don't want the pearl gene to take over my loft, so I try to basically really focus on their eye sign. To me, the eye sign is very important, and I try to keep the ones with the longer back. I try to introduce that to a shorter hand that it's a quality spinner. So is it 100%? No, it's not. Sometimes I'm fooled, sometimes I'm not. But it's all in the breeding program. It's what you can keep that you could make final judgments on your birds. If you could keep your birds in your backyard, you could make your breeding program better, or you could cull. But you need to have the numbers. Let me rephrase that. You don't need the numbers. You need to be a better trainer to keep your pigeons, because without keeping your pigeons in the backyard, you can't make your judgments. So that's why I'm very critical, very, I guess, very brutal when it comes to training, because I'd rather train them and have them here than feel sorry for them one day and, I decided to give you a little extra food, and you know what? You don't need that. I also, too, do not fly my birds after. I try to trap all my birds in spring and summertime by 7 o'clock, because unfortunately, it just takes one Cooper, one Peregrine, just to chase their birds up. And if they see these little sparrows that fly around here, because I have a couple of neighbors have swimming pools, well, the sparrows use those swimming pools to get their water, and my pigeons are a little spooked when they see them. They get used to them, but they're not that used to them. But after a bird of prey attack, if they see those sparrows, they just want to stay up, because they're already frightened of the Coopers and the birds of prey. But this is what I consider moving forward with my family. It's just being very observant and trying to practice what I see. It's not 100% proof, but it's working. So I just want to say I'm trying, like everybody else, I try to do the best, but it's really a pleasure when you could make observations on your pigeons and know that what you see you can move on, because basically now the last 3 years my quality of my Birmingham rollers have just went up here. It took a lot of years, it took a lot of hard work. It took a lot of hard work. There was a lot of days where it was discouraging, but the last 3 years have been very impressive, and so I just want to share that information with you guys, okay? So anyways, you guys, this is what I had a request to explain the type and a little more detail on my training, so this is it. Thank you.